Hello viewers of Sounding Board, and today we're going to talk about Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld, wrote by Shannon Hale and Dean Hale, art by Asiah Fulmore. Why are we going to talk about this? Because I just finished reading it because Katie lent it to me and said it was really good, and it's half-ass at best. It's not good. It's really something that I would actually think about, even if I had kids, letting them read it, because if I had a daughter, it empowers her and tears down her. If she had a little brother, tears down her little brother. Um, it's just sheer DC propaganda in the guise of a manga look. Taking a classic DC character, a female She-Ra-esque character, and retelling her tale again. Books are really hard to show online on the site because the binding without breaking them. And so basically uh, Amaya is or Amaya is a exiled princess whose exile was supposed to be 1 week, like a bad child with her caregiver, turns into 3 years, and she gets amnesia until another character appears and says the world needs you. The thing that's sad about this is the entire art of good and evil, the heroic journey, is obscured by identity politics and I am woman thinking. And it follows a lot of the same tropes that She-Ra, the Princess of Power, did. And that was a far better series because Amethyst has always been a Me Too She-Ra series. Ever since its first incarnation by when it was created by Dan Muskin, Gary Cohen, and Gene Colloon. And I've read those series, and even the second series was good. The first series was kind of dreadful. The updated series, the 1552 version of her, was okay until they decided to go out of their way and scar her up and basically just kind of fucked her up and made her unusable. And then they tried to reinvent her again, and the series reads worse than this book. And between the two modern retellings, this is a better retelling than the 6-issue miniseries by DC Comics. But like I said, this is basically more of this. If you liked She-Ra, Princess of Power, this is your book. I like the She-Ra series, but my entry into She-Ra is because I like the Master Universe. This is just really, like I said, bad because all your male characters are kind of tore down, and Amaya is the bestest ever magic user. She's like the most powerful character in the entire universe. It's Rey. It's this whole female Rey thinking, or Captain Marvel thinking, where the female has to be the dominant species, and the male character in their three-group party is kind of a eunuch, and that's kind of sad. And it says a lot about what society is trying to do to the male species is by making them weak and eunuch-like, and that they have to follow the princess like a dog, you know. And back in the day, you used to have characters like Conan the Barbarian and Tarzan, all these masculine characters. And maybe this is revenge for characters like Jane. But Conan, in his comic and even in his books, his women were strong. I don't know how they can come out and say that the patriarchal writers, as they would call them, were bad. A lot of them took into account that the female was just as strong than the male. They were just like Princess Leia. Princess Leia, in some points of Star Wars, was even stronger than the male characters. Because Luke was indecisive and Han was arrogant. And Leia was the level-headed one. But this one, it's like the first message is women and little girls are strong and powerful people, and that's what they want to project. The second thing is children have voices too. And the funny part is, you've got to ask yourself, how does a child have a voice yet when they're like 13 years old, when they don't even understand the world around them and the political implications of their actions? This book says for children, basically, that you could tell parents shut up. There is no respect your elders attitude in it. Because you can learn a lot from your elders. And one of the nice things about it, it doesn't focus on identity politics, just a little slightly on, it does focus on gender politics. I mean, the other one, identity politics. No, maybe that's not right neither, because the female empowerment issue is identity politics. And the black secondary character, which I'm surprised doesn't become the primary, because usually lately white girls are being pushed to the side for black girls. Sexual politics, that's the easiest term. Your whole, what sexuality are you? Are you them, they, it? All this childish D&D type thinking or video game thinking that comes with the LGBTQ thinking. That was one of the nice things about the book, but it was a half-assed read at best. I read through it all the way instead of putting it down, so it held my attention enough to go through that, unlike Mom, which I had to force myself to read, which is all just a total rip on the whole male society for the most part. This one, it's just one of those stories that it needed to be done better, and I don't know why DC is tricking people into thinking putting books that look like manga out on the shelf is going to generate sales for them. But most of these books are sold through Scholastic anyways. And libraries will check them out. So they'll get their grant money that way to keep printing atrocious stuff like this when they could be doing both male-female classic hero adventures. Because Wonder Woman is a prime example of a character that is surrounded by a lot of strong male characters, and she can stand with the best of them. Amethyst is one of those characters that they don't know what to do with her. She's a fish out of water, let's say, because the fantasy characters are dead now, and writers don't know how to handle them. And when she was conceived during the Me Too age of She-Ra, it was at the end of a majority of the fantasy comics. All that was on the shelf at that time was He-Man. Not He-Man. Actually, He-Man was around on some miniseries levels, but Conan. And Conan was coming to the end of his run both in the Savage Sword of Conan and and the Conan the Barbarian series in Marvel. So magic is fun, but when you make the female so strong and dominant, and she's surrounded by a world of males, unlike She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, there's only like two males on the entire world, and that is Seahawk and Bo. One's an insane male, and the other one's a eunuch as well. And they'll say, what about Hordak? Hordak's an alien, an emo-looking alien, who doesn't even carry the ferocity and hate that Hordak should be having. He's even a castrated version of his incarnation. But if you like Amethyst, this is worth just taking a look at. But if you don't need to, I'd say skip over it and buy real manga, because this whole women are big and bad and men are eunuchs is not very fun to read as a male. So their target audience, I'm not sure what their target audience is, because this is wrote for children, but it has adult storylines on it. So until next time, this is the Sounding Board, signing off.